Well, I figured while I'm restoring this saw, now that I have it torn down to all of its basic parts, I might as well just take a minute and show a video of what everything is and how it works. Just a super basic, not scientific. I don't work for any of these people. I'm not an engineer, nothing like that. But I don't know, I feel like there's probably not a video out here, and most people aren't going to spend their time tearing down a saw like this. So, and this is also about as basic as it can get. So I figured as it is now, you can kind of just see how it all goes together. So we might as well just run through it real quick. I don't have a script for anything like this, so hopefully I don't fumble too much. We might as well just start right here in the middle. The red parts I've painted. All of this was rusty, I repainted it. The red parts here are things that will basically move or change. They change things. You've got the jaws here for the chuck. That's not what it's called, the vise. They call it something different, but this is your vise. So we'll just start right here. This is your vise. It's going to mount like this, basically, and this is also going to give you your, it does this first. Right here. This gives you your angles, and then this is the part that actually slides back and forth like this. The way that it slides back and forth is you have this rod here, which I don't know if you can see it there or there. Hopefully I'm getting that in the middle. These are Acme threads, which these are super, super cool tools, devices to have, especially if you have a nut to go with them. And if you're a DIYer or like to build things, if you ever come across these, don't throw them away. These are different and way more precise than just what you can get at the stores if you're just buying your normal coarse thread and your standard bolts. But the way that this works, this here has the internal threads for the Acme, and it goes underneath this casting, and with this hole here attaches to the bottom. It actually attaches like this. So, and then through the bottom, this is fed through the hole right here. It will thread in like this, and once you put this handle on the end and crank it, this will slide back and forth and clamp your material in place, and you can cut it. That's basically how you hold the material, real basically how you hold the material. How this is actually powered is this right here is the gearbox. This is a worm drive. I don't know all the technical parts of this, but we'll start from the outside here. This is a motor mount. I don't have the motor out here. Because I don't even know if it's going to work, but it'll mount to this, and then basically the motor will spin, however, and it'll drive a belt that spins this. This is a worm drive gearbox, or whatever the proper term is. You can't, hopefully you can zoom in right here, but as this is spinning, you'll notice this is spinning and this is driving. This is, I was just looking at the diagram. I think they call this just the shaft and this is the worm drive. Although this makes sense that this would be the worm gear. I'm not totally sure. But as this is spinning by the motor, this shaft is spinning, and on the back side, the shaft will go through this pulley here, which is, I don't know what it's called. I'll call it the drive pulley. And you can tell it's a drive pulley because it has a keyway cut in with it right here. It's just a rectangular groove cut through it, and this is just key stock. This will actually slide in here, and the shaft on the opposite side of this has the receiving part, the receiving groove. This slides in, and this entire motor, this entire contraption, apparatus, system, device is powered by this, this is 1/4 inch key stock. That's it. And I, like a fool, painted this one, so I get to clean it up before I reinstall it because they're very precise. And it's not going to fit. They're really precise because if you have any play, they're absolutely going to beat these things apart. I've seen it happen. Anyway, this motor spins, this shaft spins, this pulley spins. There would be a blade, a band blade on here. While this spins, It's connected down here, and essentially imagine this is the blade coming around like this. This is your top bushing. There, this is your top pulley, and this is the bushing that it spins around. This goes inside here, and you won't see it. Actually, it'll go in like that. The way that you actually put on blades and tension the blade is off of this pulley and this device here. I forget what this is called. It's like a tensioner slide apparatus, yada yada yada. I don't know. The way that this works is this device here, you see there's channels cut in. It sits in here like this. It'll be more recessed. These plates are actually going to bolt in here to the frame, and they're inside. They will slide inside like this. I'll show, hopefully you can see this. And they'll slide, which will allow it to slide back and forth like this. And the reason that's important is because from the outside, the longer of the handles will go through the top, and it actually attaches here. And kind of same principle, but in reverse as this. As you spin this, it's going to drive this back and forth that is attached to this pulley, and this will tighten your blade. Essentially, probably missed some things here, but I think that's the general rundown of how that actually works. Where to next? So you understand how this whole part works, which is that whole part, just this part that I just talked about, not this, is the bandsaw. That is everything. That is the blade spinning around. As simple as it comes. It's a very basic machine. This is just the base with the clamping, but if you have a vertical bandsaw, it's different. So that's your general bandsaw. Now, this is a horizontal bandsaw, so this whole part here, while your material is clamped, it'll go up and down like this. And the way that works is you have your, I don't know what you call this. It's not an axle, but whatever you're going to call it. It's not your pivot. This is your pivot. But I'm forgetting the name. You guys know what it is. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're mechanically inclined to know what that is. But the way that this works is this doesn't sit parallel with the base. It actually sits at an angle. So this rod will go through right here, slides all the way through like this, and on the other side you'll get the pivot here. This will go through here and fit in like so. And then this bolts to the underside here, and this allows this whole frame here to tilt up and down. And there's your horizontal, or vertical, I'm sorry, whatever, I'll try to edit that out. Now, you'll see this part here. This is your pivot, your fulcrum, I think that's what you're going to call it. This is your pivot here, and this is a very, very strong spring that attaches like this. However, and then on the other side is attached to an eye bolt and this rod that this will thread in here like so. The power of engineering. You hook this to the other side like that, which will attach to your machine like so. The back side here attaches to this pivot, which remember is attached to this whole thing here. And this, theoretically, I believe, controls, it's your tensioner. This here, these guys here are, I think they're called the guide. They're your guides, I believe, or your bearing assemblies, your guide assemblies, your bearing whatever. And the way that these work is this here. I'll try to show it to this camera too. I've never really filmed like this before, so hopefully this is working out well. But this attaches like this, and actually it really does matter which one is which, so I'll try to get them correct. But I believe these are going to be the correct ones. So you have, this is your, I think this is your tension bearing, something. This is actually pushing down on your blade. your blade is going to want to push up as it's sliding through. It's going to want to push up, so that's is what keeps it down. And then I've got these other bearings here that will sit, well, obviously not this far out, there's holes here, they sit in here. And it keeps your blade in line. You can see that, keeps your blade in line. Now, adjusting these is important. Being able to just take a look and being able to have the power to just see if you're cutting straight or not is really important. That also affects a lot of this stuff. And also changing your bearings when they run out. You can get these, I have no idea what the price is. Maybe I'll look, maybe not. That seems like a lot more work that I don't want to do. But bearings are pretty inexpensive, and trust me, you do not need expensive ones for this. If you're using this saw, you're probably not running the heck out of it. And if you are, spend the 10 bucks every year for new bearings. But anyway, this, you essentially hopefully see how the bearings assemble into this. And I think I have this backwards, but these will actually go like this. They slide underneath here, and these go through, they touch here, but obviously through the frame, and they slide back and forth. These are your guides, and the way that you want these guides as close to your cutting pieces as possible, so that your blade isn't just out there free cutting. It's not straight, it's not good for your blade, nothing like that. That's basically it. That is the basics of how this bandsaw works, and a little of the other stuff. This is just your simple material stop, which is good for material that long and shorter. So not really that good, but they attempted it. You can probably go to the store and buy much longer material. These are great if you're doing repeat stuff. And yeah, this is it. This is some of the other hardware for, just kind of nuts, the other stuff, nuts, bolts, everything's here except for, of course, the stuff that I forgot to paint, which is over there. That's gonna get painted after this. I'm gonna get this put together, but I just thought that this is just like a cool opportunity, and a cool video opportunity, to be totally honest. So, hope you like it. Hit that subscribe button, or whatever. Do whatever the heck you want to do. I don't care. But yeah, there you go. That's how Bandsaw works.